and get this going. So hello again, I'm Jennifer Givens, and we are on to part 2, which is the advanced compensation part of the compensation plan, as well as some placement strategies. Now, this is a lot, and it's complicated, and so same concept applies to any training, and especially any comp plan training. They will pay you no matter what. So I'm hoping that you'll grasp the understanding of these concepts to really help you feel more confident in how you're getting paid, but most of all so that you can maximize it to actually maximize your paychecks as well. Sorry, I'm noticing all this crap that's not supposed to be here, and it's driving me crazy. Obviously, I get easily distracted. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. I'm going to tell you in advance that I have no idea how long this is going to take. So, this is the wrong one. So if you got to go, you got to go. Okay, no judgment, but I'm going to be very thorough, hopefully. I'm going to be very detailed, and hopefully you understand it as we go. If you want to fully feel free to put your question in the chat as we go so that you don't lose it, or you can write it down and ask it later at the end. You can unmute yourself if you want. But like I said, I just don't want to stop in the process because I don't want to confuse myself. So clearly that's easy to do since I've already confused myself 3 times since I've been sitting here. So let's go ahead and get this rolling. Now, some of the concepts of the comp plan or the leadership components of the comp plan aren't necessarily a part of placement, but I'm going to touch on all of them. So just kind of focusing on shifting your brain. I don't know if you saw yesterday's training, maybe you didn't need it. It's fine, whatever, but I'm just telling you I covered all the basic components. We're shifting our brain into a leader component so that you're looking at things like, oops, sorry, gosh. Oh, I didn't do anything. Okay, I thought I stopped sharing. Into a leadership brain where you're thinking of, as a leader, how am I building, growing? And so obviously parts of driving our compensation plan as a leader are going to be that you focus on both aspects of our comp plan, which is going to be both PCs and BPs, right? That's how you're maximizing and really, if you think about it, unlocking the potential of the full compensation plan. Not just getting them, but retaining them. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when I talk about team commissions. You want to find and focus on opportunities to help people hit the Fast Start, Qualify, and the Director bonus on your teams. I explained what those were yesterday to anyone that's new or doesn't understand the comp plan yet, but as a leader, you are really looking for and targeting the new people who can hit those bonuses and helping them do the activities that are going to help them get there if that's something that they want to do. Otherwise, you can't expect that people know what they have available to them to earn. Some of us have been in this comp plan for over 2 years and maybe don't know some of the parts of it that we can earn. So that's something that you want to look for in your new start reports or in your report center so that you're focusing on the people and helping them understand that what they have on the table. I remember back in the day, it used to be like, you would be like, oh, you only need one more brand partner and you can earn an iPad or whatever. And people will be like, wait, what? So same thing is true here. You're searching out and seeking the people that you can help hit one of those 2 goals as well. Hopefully both, and that would be amazing. Obviously, and this is key because it's the 23rd of a month. I'm not going over what we do on the 23rd of a month, but obviously we kind of are because all of this is included in that, right? So you're looking for helping people earn their personal customer bonuses. You're looking at yourself and your own team PC bonus and what you need to get up in the levels of that. Who do you need to help? Look at theirs and what can they do to help themselves achieve those extra bonuses from the team PC bonus. And then of course, you're helping people drive their personal sales commissions. Everything that we talked about yesterday, but your role as a leader is seeking those people out, sharing with them how close they are, and not just being the pointer-outer of things, but actually then offering them a solution or asking them, would you like my help with some ideas or some things we can do to help you earn those things, okay? Just a couple other little key parts. Elite brand partner is the rank that people start earning team commissions. So that's something that you need to keep in your back pocket when you're looking for people to hit elite brand partner, which also happens when they fast start qualify, knowing what's in it for them, right? This isn't just about what's in it for you. This is about what's in it for the people on your team. So what's in it for them is they're going to start earning team commissions, which we'll explain later. By we'll, I mean me. But elite director is the rank that you personally start earning check match. That can be a very powerful compounding part of the compensation plan if you understand it and learn how to maximize it. So I want to teach you about that. And then team director is the level that you earn check match on. Plus, when they hit team director, they start earning 2 more levels of team commissions. So those are kind of some key golden ticket parts of our driving our comp plan that we already have that you want to shift into thinking about as a leader. So when talking about placements, it's an odd word really, but placement just refers to literally placing a personally enrolled brand partner under another part of your organization. I hope as I start explaining this, it will make more sense. Couple things to note, it's a total business decision. So that means it's unique to every single person and every single situation in the moment that it's happening. In my opinion, there's no black and white, cut and dry, this is what you do, right? There's several things that you should know and take into consideration and then make an educated business decision based on your personal viewpoint and your personal perspective and what you want for your own business. Now, what I mean by that is everybody in the time that you're placing them, your business can be in a different place. The person that you're placing may have a personal connection to you in a different way. There's lots of different factors that roll into it. My hope tonight is that you understand the overarching, stop it. Sorry, I don't know why everybody lets my dogs in here every time I do a Zoom. The overarching concepts of the bigger pieces of our compensation plan to understand what decision you are potentially making when you place someone. Until you have enrolled at least your 4th brand partner, placement isn't necessary. And it may even be your 5th. So it's something that if you haven't enrolled 3 people yet, or even your 4th person yet, you can listen for sure, because I think knowledge is power, but it's not something that you're going to be doing yet. And hopefully that will make more sense as we go along as well. I already explained that placement's very, very individualized, and every placement requires consideration of our compensation plan factors. And you have 72 hours on the dot to place people. So what I mean by that is if you enroll them at 12:02, they're leaving at 12:02 that placement suite. So that's something that you have to, it's a very quick decision, which is why it's one in which, in my personal opinion, you make it, you're good with it, and you move on. You can't live in regret. You can't go back and think, what if, or if I would have only. That's not abundant mindset whatsoever. We are thinking of, this is the information I have in this moment. I'm making the best decision that I know how to make, and I'm moving forward, and it is what it is, right? We will make the best of any of it. So tip number 1 is don't place in a leg that can cap you on your GQV. And I'm going to explain what these are. So every rank has an LQV and a GQV requirement. Placements only affect the GQV, which stands for your group qualifying volume. LQV is not impacted by placements whatsoever. So when you're making a placement, it's only going to impact your GQV if you make, I guess, quote unquote, the wrong move, right? You can't impact your LQV through your placements. So hopefully, again, as I expand on it, it will make more and more sense. First, you have to understand LQV and GQV. And I have created some super high class, you can tell that I'm total graphic designer in the drawings that I've created for you. But I used to try to do this like on the whiteboard of the Zoom, and it's nearly impossible. So I tried to do it a little bit on my own to kind of help you grasp and visualize what that is. So LQV, I'm going to start with your LQV. Your LQV is your leadership qualifying volume. I'm going to show you in just a second, after I go through each of these, what you look at in your back office. You will need to calculate for placement. You'll have to calculate some parts of, you'll have to actually physically write it out, but LQV and GQV caps are already factored in there. It's not going to allow you to count more than what you can count. You don't have to mathematically figure that out when you're just looking at rank advancement. So I'm going to show you where you find it. Also, I showed this yesterday, but when you click on LQV, you get LQV leg details, which is going to show you for that rank who is counting for your LQV as the enrollment leg at the top of it, and then how much is counting and are you capped. So your LQV is comprised of your personal customer orders, anyone you personally enroll in the business and their customers, and anyone they enroll in the business and their customers, and so on and so on and so on until the end of time. Okay, what it doesn't count is any placements that are placed under you or your personal purchases. Neither one of those count in your LQV requirements. So if you are only needing LQV for a rank advancement, a placement doesn't help you, your own personal purchases don't help you. The only thing that will help you is helping the enrollment tree people that are already on your team, enrolling personal customers or brand partners yourself. This is my lovely professional drawing. So this is an LQV, or what we call enrollment tree. So that's what anything, when we refer to LQV, we refer to an enrollment tree, and every single person that you have enrolled as a brand partner is considered an enrollment tree leg. So in this example, if you have enrolled 8 brand partners, you have 8 enrollment tree legs. It never changes, okay? Unless they all quit, unless they totally terminate their accounts, you will always have those 8 enrollment tree legs. All you need for rank requirements, etc., is to have an active person in that leg. It doesn't have to be the actual person you enrolled for that. So it's a pretty easy concept once you grasp it, but it's not something you will find the list where it's listed out, but that's only active people. But you can just know in your head, if you've enrolled 5 people, you have 5 enrollment tree legs, and so on and so forth. Again, not impacted by placement tree. Now, when your personally enrolled brand partners start enrolling their own brand partners, those enrollment tree legs don't change. You still enrolled 8 brand partners, you still have 8 enrollment tree legs. What changes is they grow in depth, right? So as you can see from this beautiful illustration, you have 8 enrollment tree legs, and then you have 4 different enrollment tree legs who have enrolled brand partners themselves, who enrolled brand partners, who enrolled brand partners, etc. But overall, you still have 8 enrollment tree legs. So when you are looking at caps for LQV, it's going to cap it per leg. So anyone in enrollment tree leg 1 is only going to count as one entity for you. No matter who is in that leg, it's all one entity in that one leg. Now, GQV is comprised of what we call your placement tree. And so it's based on where you quote unquote place or put people, the brand partners that you enroll. And in this example, you only have 5 placement tree legs because you've placed brand partners 6, 7, and 8, right? But you still have the 8 enrollment tree legs. So if you look at the triangles, right, those were your enrollment tree legs. Those were the people that you personally enrolled in the business. Now, when you place them, you move people, right? So you've placed them where your LQV or your enrollment tree leg still has the 8. If you click back, still looks like this. Okay, your placement tree is something totally separate, and that is your group qualifying volume, which is another component of your rank advancement. So when you're looking at this, you've placed brand partner number 8 under brand partner 1, you've placed brand partner number 6 under brand partner number 3, and brand partner number 7 under brand partner number 5. This is now your placement tree, and you can't change it, okay? So once you do it, it's there. Obviously, brand partner number 8 didn't have this big team whenever I placed them there, so you're making a very quick, rash judgment. You don't have a little crystal ball to make a great final decision. It's just you go with what you have in the moment and you move on. Now, when you're placing people, in my opinion, all of these are my opinion in a degree, I guess, it's not super beneficial to you. Also, it doesn't really hurt you, but it's not helpful for you to give someone or to place someone under someone who isn't building the business. Because really, the only way that your placement can help someone else is if they're building a business. And it's really, if it's not going to help them, then what is the purpose of placing them really? It doesn't, it's a moot point is my point. There's really nothing that's going to impact it if the person that that you need to place. If there's no one building a business, then there's really no reason to place them under someone who is not growing a business. Now, the volume caps. Let me get out of this and go into Minnie Mouse for a second. Hello, big head of mine. Oh, look, that's your last your last slide is Excel. If that doesn't make you feel super excited, I don't know what will. Oh, you probably can't see my screen. I forgot about that. Hang on. What's happening? I'm going to need the internet to work. I need to exhale myself. Maybe that was my reminder. Okay, little Safari. I'm going to need you to work. I'm literally sitting next to the internet router and the booster. Both components of my internet. Dang it. All right, hang on, let me try again. Oh my gosh, you all, it's so hot in here. It's really, really something. I turned the air down because my husband has no fat on his body. So it's always set on hell here. I was like, don't you dare turn it back up while I'm in this room. Oh my, awesome. So the back office isn't working. Oh, lovely, lovely. All right, let me try Chrome. Hold please, if this doesn't work, whatever, I'll just wing it. No, Chrome won't come up. Okay. Oh, yay. Oh, my word. Okay, well.
Jennifer, I think the back office was in maintenance today.
It wasn't 1 hour ago. Okay, it's working. Okay. I'm like, I definitely would have looked at that. Are we still telling people, I'm gonna just look at this really quick. Are we still telling people not to place until they run it by us just to be safe? I mean, I think it's whatever. I don't know. I'm under the mindset that people own their own business. And so if somebody wants to do their own placements without me, more power to you. But personally, I think that until you fully understand it, it's a great idea to run it past someone who does understand it to make sure that you're making a good decision. And so sometimes that just looks like maybe you're going to give this, like maybe I can come to you and say, hey, this is what I was thinking. What do you think? Because again, to me, it's super personal. So the only thing that I feel like I really have a say on is if it's going to hurt them in some way, to make sure I point that out to them so that they are making a very informed and aware decision. So it's a recommendation maybe, but obviously they own their own business. So if it's not something that they don't want to run it past me, I don't have really anything to say in that. I think it's wise to run it past someone until you fully understand it though. Okay, so looking at this rank requirement here. So let's just say you're looking at a lead director. So you have LQB here, and there's a cap per leg of LQB. So when you pull up her cap here, you can see that she's capped out 2,800 on all of these enrollment tree legs. Now it's only the person at the top that's active that's going to show in the enrollment leg, and it's not going to show anyone who hasn't run an ADO. It has no volume. They won't show up there. But she can see everyone that's counting toward her LQB here, and whether or not they're capped, and then the amount of LQB from her customers. Now, as you change ranks, that amount changes. So if you look at, if she's running for a regional, now her capped amount goes up to 10.5. So she can claim more from each leg for LQB. I'm not going to go much more into that unless you totally don't get it, and then type it in chat or ask me later and I'll explain it, because it's totally always calculated there for you. And so is GQB, but your placements do not impact your LQB, whereas they do 100% or can impact your GQB. So you're looking at the rank requirements for each rank, and I went over this yesterday, but in terms of placement, GQB here, there is no clicking and there is no anything else. So you are going to have to look at your actual legs over here. So Minnie Mouse has lots of legs, okay? All of these people are the top of her legs. So she literally, before she makes a placement, is gonna have to make sure that she clicks and understands. I mean, you guys, I'm not trying to be offensive at all, but I hope that you somewhat know. I hope that you wouldn't have to be like, I wonder what everyone on my team is doing. I hope that you would somewhat know where you're hoping to make placements and who you're trying to help. And I hope you know kind of those things a little bit in advance, but you want to make sure that you're understanding their GQV and kind of where they end their month typically before you're making a placement toward your rank. But this is where you're going to see the LQV, and this is where it's showing you what's counting of your GQV. And then because I'm going to refer to these two screens, I'm going to show you this. So if you look at Elite Director, so the cap for GQV never changes. You cannot take more than 60% of what is needed for the rank from any one placement tree leg. So if you think back to the placement trees, we had 5 placement tree legs. No more than 60% of the required volume for that rank can come from one single placement tree leg. So in this case, for Elite Director, the GQV requirement is 11,000. 60% of that would be 6,600. Now, that means no more than 6,600 can come from one single placement tree leg. I'm going to explain this in another screen. I'm going to just show you this really quick. Now, for the car, if you look at Minnie, if you could mute yourself, if you're not muted, please. For Elite Director, her GQV is capped out at 14,625. But for Lexus, which is still Elite Director, she's capped out at a higher amount. Why? Because what's required for Lexus is 15,000. So 60% of that would be 9,000. So she can take 9,000 from each placement tree leg for Lexus. So let me show you that off of this screen. I'm going to have to find people and mute you because you're not muted. Hang on. Okay. So going back to this. Now, again, you're looking at this right here. So the GQV required for Elite Director is 11,000. 60% of that is 6,600. That means that when you're, whoa, what did I just hit a keyboard shortcut? Holy moly. Okay. When you're looking here, that means no more, I can't point at these, no more than 6,600 could come from any one of those 5 placement tree legs, the whole total leg, right? Which means, let's say that number 1 over there, let's say that they have a volume of 9,000, a GQV of 9,000. Well, if you're running for Elite Director, the only amount you can take from leg 1 is 6,600 of that 9,000. Now, when you're moving on to the Lexus and your GQV amount switches to 15,000, which means your cap switches to 9,000 because 60% of 15,000 is 9,000. Now, if leg 1 has 9,000, you get to take all of that 9,000 toward the 15,000 that you need. So why does this matter for placement? Well, let's say that I'm running for Elite Director and leg number 1 has 9,000 in GQV, right? Which means I can only take 6,600 from leg 1, which means I have to take 4,400 from legs 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if I have someone to placing them under leg 1 is not the best decision for me, because now I can't count that person that I placed. I can't count that GQV towards Elite Director that I'm running for. It makes far more sense to either leave them alone, depending on how many legs you have, or place them under legs 2, 3, 4, or 5 so that I can claim them as part of that total GQV. The biggest piece that you're thinking is for GQV, you only need to know your placement tree, which is looking at each of those little legs when you go to your leadership dashboard, each of those little people that are listed. That's your GQV legs. All of those are. You need to know what their total GQV is before you make a placement, because you need to make sure that you're not going to cap yourself out on the GQV of that placement tree leg by placing someone there to hit your actual rank. You do have to consider yourself first, you guys. This is your business. It's not just some fun little puzzle piece that we're putting together here. It impacts your income. So, and then as you see, as you move toward Premier Director, the GQV required is 20,000, which means the 60% increases again. Now you can take 12,000 from each placement tree leg. This is totally separate from your LQB, and it is heavily impacted by your placements. And so it's something that you really need to know. In my opinion, the number one thing you need to know before you make a placement, because the last thing you would want to do is say that you have $1,000 enrollment sitting over here. Let's just say they're number 4 and you still have time to place them. Okay, you've built this crazy business super fast. Let's just say they're person number 4 and you need to place them and they're 1,000 in volume. If you move them into leg 1 where you're already capped on volume, now that 1,000, it's included in leg 1's GQB, but it won't count toward the rank that you need because you're capped out on leg 1 already. So before I move forward, I would like to know if there are questions about that. I don't want it to get more confusing as we go. So questions about LQB or GQB. No question is a dumb question. It's very important that you understand this piece, because it is the number one thing that you're looking at is your GQB whenever you're going to make placements. Nothing? Okay. All right. Oh, yay. Good. Okay. All right. Well, I won't be able to see the chat again, so moving on. Tip number 2, look at your levels of senior brand partners so as not to place people out of your team commissions. This is very important as well. Your team commissions follow your placement tree, okay? So image number 3, the one with the pinks and the blue with the 5 placement tree legs, okay? That it's gonna follow that tree. Now, a senior brand partner generation is going to be all active brand partners up to and including your next qualified senior brand partner hire in your placement tree leg. That probably means absolutely nothing when you read it. It even confuses me and I know what it means, okay? I'm going to show you what it means. This is a really big deal in your placements because it impacts your pay. It's also what is used when they calculate momentum bonuses. So it's a really big piece of the compensation plan that you do need to at least understand what you're doing when you place people, because you don't want to, theoretically, you don't want to place someone out of your team commission levels that could impact you for years to come, right? In that same breath, I also believe in helping people reach the level of team director. I think it's very smart to help people reach team director and elite director, because those are 2 golden spots of the comp plan, right? Elite director, they're earning their own check match, and team director, they're counting as check match and earning 2 more levels of team commission. So to me, I am going to look at, okay, I'm looking at GQB first. I don't want to cap myself out. But then next I'm looking at, is there anyone in the placement legs that I can grow in, that I'm looking at? Is there anyone that my placement would help hit team director or elite director? To me, that's important. As you move through ranks, you don't need anybody to be any certain rank until you want to move past national marketing director. And then you're going to need some people to be certain ranks. So, placements can count for nearly 40% of the volume that someone needs to hit a rank. Now, they're not you're not owed one, right? It's always a business decision in that moment. But I'm looking at, is there anyone that can hit team director or elite director with my placement that falls within the top few levels of my generations? It's a smart decision to look at that and look at it as a whole picture, right? Because to me, it's maximizing 2 different parts of the comp plan if you're placing to maximize team commissions while also maximizing check match, which I'm going to explain later, which is what your team directors are. Now, why does this matter in terms of momentum bonus? Well, because your momentum bonus when you rank up is only calculated on this. So if you have placed if you rank up to Premier Brand Partner, or you rank up to Director, and you have placed people in generations 5, 6, 7, 8, they are not included in your team commissions that you're paid, which means they will not be included in your momentum bonus either, because the momentum bonus is 3% on top of the team commissions that you're paid out. So if you ranked up to elite director, you're going to get paid 8%, 8%, 7, 7, 7, 7, and 6% for 3 months that you hit elite director. So it's a really big deal, and can be a large amount of income. So it needs to be something that you consider when you're making a placement. Now, I'm hoping that this is beautiful. full, but I'm trying to help you grasp, okay? So this was the same exact picture that I had drawn before for your placement tree. So that's still you. You still have the 5 placement tree legs, and probably in this scenario, probably what happened was brand partner number 2 really doesn't want to build a business, and maybe they want to get their products for free and in today, right? That can change tomorrow, that can change 3 months from now, that can change 2 years from now. But today, in the day that I was making my placement, it didn't make any sense for me to place brand partner number 4 under brand partner number 2 because they weren't focused on building a business. Therefore, it's like I said, it doesn't really matter. It's a moot point. So and then brand partner number 5 was obviously already was growing a team, and maybe brand partner 4 was the same concept. They weren't really interested in building a business, so it didn't make a lot of sense to place brand partner number 5 under 2 or 4. Whereas when brand partner number 6 came along, brand partner number 3 was actively building the business, so I decided to place them there. It's kind of, hopefully you're kind of picturing the concepts of what you're considering when you do it. Now, what are you looking at? Unfortunately, I'm sorry for this, but you will have to physically write this out and to figure out who was a senior brand partner generation for you. There isn't an easy way, to my knowledge. I pray I'm wrong and someone corrects me. I'm always okay. I'm totally fine with being wrong. But I don't think I am on this one. There isn't an easy way to look at who are your senior brand partner generations in your placement tree. You're literally going to have to like draw this out. But let's get real. If you draw it out once, you can add new people as they get added. And when you go to make a placement, like I said, surely you're thinking or have a consideration of where the person might go. And then you only really have to look in one little area of where are my senior brand partners. So in this scenario, I'm saying that brand partner number 1 is a senior brand partner. And then this little teeny lowercase a down here what became a senior brand partner. No one in between them is a senior brand partner in this theoretical scenario, which means brand partner number 1 is the generation 1 senior brand partner, and all those people would be included in senior brand partner number 1 down to the next senior brand partner or higher, which is what I read earlier that I said kind of was a little confusing. So the next senior brand partner or higher is that little lowercase a. So everyone beyond that would be included in senior brand partner generation 2. So it's per placement tree leg, right? And in brand partner number 2 and placement tree leg number 2, there is no senior brand partner. Therefore, any team commissions will be calculated as though that person is your level 1 or your generation 1 senior brand partner, because there's not one. Same with number 4, right? Then in the scenario in placement tree leg number 3 is a senior brand partner generation. There isn't another one in that leg, so that's all 1. And then the same for placement leg number 5. There's 1 senior brand partner, so all those people are compressed into that, and that's included in generation number 1. So when I make a placement, again, my personal opinion, okay? So my goal is to give you information so you feel more informed and empowered to make the best decision that you feel is for your business, because I want to equip you with information and knowledge, and then I want you to feel empowered to make the decision. But for me personally, I would rather build wider under the legs that I've already created, meaning if you see, give brand partner number 1 a 4th leg, and brand partner number 3 a 4th leg, and brand partner number 5 a 4th leg, and you never know, I may go back around if there's no team director for me to help, and there's no real reason for me to place anywhere else, and I have another placement. I may choose based on GQV. Let's say I choose to put them in leg number 3 again. I will most likely give leg number 3 a 5th leg again, unless any of those people are actively building, and I know that they're, I'm hopeful that they'll become a team director. And that way you're not cutting yourself out of anything, but you're also still helping someone else, because no matter that doesn't hurt the person if they have extra legs. Literally, it does nothing except for help them. It will compound toward their GQV the same way it always will. When they start earning team commissions, that will be a level 1 team commission person for them. So you're not harming them in any way. You're able to help them and still help you, which is kind of the overall concept whenever you're doing placements, is to help yourself first and hopefully be able to help someone else in the process, right? Otherwise, if we were only in it for ourselves, then we would have, if I enrolled 10 people, I'd have 10 legs. Now, I know some people probably accidentally did that, and it's okay. And maybe you have 10 legs because 8 of them said they weren't doing anything. Whatever. Every situation is on its own. But I'm saying if you have people who are actively building a business, I also think you have a lot of power to be able to help people. And that's always been my philosophy. It doesn't mean it's shared amongst everyone, but that's my personal philosophy is if I can help someone hit team director and I'm not placing them way far down in my team commission generations, then that's my personal choice that I want to do because I want to maximize both components, team commissions and check match for myself. Okay. Was I going to say something else? Okay. So yes, I was. I'm talking to and answering myself. Definitely crazy. Okay. So if you're looking at, let's say your rank is director, you're getting paid 4 senior brand partner generations. So obviously in this scenario, you don't have 4. You only have the maximum of 2 anyway, but I'm just saying you need to know how many generations you're getting paid out when you're looking at placing. You know, it would be amazing if you could keep people in your first couple generations across the board forever, because that's the maximum pay, right? It's 5% per generation. But in some scenarios, if I'm looking at, this is my personal leg and this person I can help hit team director, meaning with my placement, not like 6 months from now, but I can help them hit team director, I can help them hit elite director, whatever. Then that's going to be a personal decision of, am I okay with placing them further down in my team commission generations to help gain a team director or an elite director? Again, personal choice. Okay. For me, my answer is typically yes. Not everyone agrees with that. So that's something that you will have to decide on your own of what is authentic to you and your philosophy in building your business. Okay. So this is really, really, really big, you guys. And Amber went over it and we've talked about it. It was something I just thought people knew, and then I realized people don't know, and that's okay. But you need to know so that you understand that enrolling customers is fantastic, but keeping them is even better. Because when you look at this was just a screenshot of her little thing from her training, but when you look at team commissions, that's based on something called CV, which is commissionable volume. It's not shown to you anywhere. There's no report where you can go pull it and say, what's the commissionable volume today? You don't see that. But there is a chart. It's called a product pricing list, and it goes through and shows you like retail cost, a preferred customer cost, brand partner cost, CV, QV, I think that's it. I don't know why I feel like I'm missing one. But anyway, so on there, you're going to see the CV amount for things. Well, CV is what gets awarded for every order that's purchased, that's paid for. Okay. If there's nothing paid, there is no CV generated. It just doesn't happen. If there's a discount on it, your CV will be discounted. So if someone's saving 10%, their CV will be discounted by 10%. But the bigger piece of it that you need to really understand, and why retaining your business is so powerful in your in income, almost said enrollment, in your income, is because the CV awarded on a new order is discounted by 40%. And the reason is because they're paying out a 20% first order bonus to whomever enrolled that person. It's just that, there are other pieces of the puzzle that are getting rolled out there. Now, when you keep that customer, and second month would be fantastic because that means you're retaining business, which means you can grow even bigger. But even if it's the third month, it's whatever. When you get a reorder from any customer who has ordered previously, you are now awarded 100% of the CV on that sale. So in an example, if the CV on the first order is 100, you are getting 40% of that is going into your team commissions. Okay. Now, if you reorder, then all 100 of that is going to go into the CVs, which is now going to calculate your team commissions. And so obviously it's not concrete, right? It's a percentage of the team commissions, which is based on the CV of the products purchased that month, and per generation is how that works. But it's really, really, really powerful. And for people who earned a momentum bonus for the first time last month, I really believe that if you retain that business from last month, you are going to be very, very happy with what your team commissions and thus your momentum bonus looks like for this month. It literally, because almost everyone from May ranked up from new volume, and which is fantastic. That's amazing. New volume is great, and it's typically what makes someone rank up. But when you keep that volume the following month, now your team commissions will definitely be higher because it's no longer discounted like it is on all first orders, okay? So let me, I'm gonna stop this for a second and see what questions you have. Let me look. Oh, there are some. What questions you have about team commissions? What is the benefit of making a tree versus a bunch of branches? I don't know if I understand what that question is. Hang on. How do you know this within 70? Oh, I'm going to hold your question, Denise, and see if you still have it at the end, okay? Shelly, you don't. You don't know it in 72 hours. What you do know, though, is will it impact your cap on your GQV, and what generation of senior brand partner is there when you're placing? Those are two things that you 100% know when you're making the placement. What you don't know is what that person's going to do, which is why it's difficult to say, oh, it doesn't matter if I place them really far down because I don't think they're really going to do much. What if they did? And are you okay with missing out on team commissions forever? Probably, because it's my philosophy that I don't look back, right? I live with that regret. I can't do that. But I'm looking at that whenever I'm making it. What if we never place anyone and just grew horizontally? Well, you can. I mean, that's what I explained earlier. You can just grow horizontally. But in my opinion, there's an invaluable component to helping people rank up. It's a little bit, I don't know I don't ever mean anything except for in a really good place, but I hope it comes across that way. But it's naive to think that everyone will just rank up on their own. I mean, it just is, especially the levels of elite director and above. And if you want to continue growing in your business, you are going to need people to rank up beyond elite director for sure. So to me, it's a selfless thing. To me, it is our culture. It is the culture definitely of our team. Always has been. It's what set us apart. It's why our businesses were stable at times that other people's in the company were not. These are all just my opinions, but it's because we are very selfless in how we built our business. And I mean that you're selfish first, right? You're first looking at, does this hurt me? You don't want to hurt yourself, but you're also looking at how can I maximize all parts of the compensation plan? If you never built, just being bluntly honest with you, my check matches my team commissions, and they're both very large numbers. If I'd never helped anyone grow to team director and I just hoped that everyone would do that on their own, you can guarantee yourself that my check match would not be even close to my team commissions. And so, it may seem smarter in the short term to build really, 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 really wide and just take 5% off everybody that you ever enroll. In my opinion, that's not the culture of our comp plan. I just don't think it is. I think that's why we're different. And I think that you're looking at who can I help while still helping me. So as you heard, I didn't say you should place somebody 10 generations deep and cut yourself off of all your team commissions. But I can promise you that nearly every person in your top leadership helped people with placements get to ranks. So in my opinion, it's far more beneficial in the long term. You help people psychologically. You retain brand partners. I'm just being bluntly honest. If everyone stayed at getting their product for free or never advanced beyond, making a couple $100s a month, and that's how it was for the majority of your whole team, those people don't have a lot to lose, which means they don't necessarily stay around forever either. So it just kind of depends on, and not everybody. Some people are making tons of money at certain ranks because of their customer base. But I'm just saying, overall, when you take a step back and look at the big perspective and picture, it makes more sense to not just have 12 legs going across. Unless, of course, like I said before, you had a bunch of people who didn't do anything. Your own sales go into team commission. You mean your customers? Yes, your customer sales. You are considered the level of senior brand partner. So if I had a team and none of them were senior brand partners, they'd all be included as a level 1 because I'm the first level senior brand partner there. Did I understand that we do not need to focus on the LQV or GQV until after the first new brand partners? Well, sort of. You always need to focus on them because those are what make up your rank. So you definitely need to know what yours are. You need to click through those rank advancement boxes and see, am I close to another rank? Is there something I can do? Do I only need to activate a brand partner? Do I need some more customer orders? Do I need to help someone get their product for free or hit a PC bonus to get a little more LQV, you know, whatever, to maybe help yourself rank up. So they're definitely important because as you see, and I'll show you if you need me to, but early on, you still can rank up even without pre-brand partners. What you don't need to focus on is placing people until you reach that point. But LQV and GQV, you always focus on. They're always important. If none of my 10 BPs placed horizontally are active, when I get new BPs, is it still better to place them under someone? Doesn't matter. That's what I'm trying to explain. So it's not going to hurt you. Let's say all 10 people never do anything and you place somebody underneath of them. It's essentially like they're not there. It doesn't matter. They're not a senior brand partner generation, so they're not taking you out of a level of team commissions, and but you're not helping them either, obviously, because they're not building a business. But it doesn't hurt you to place them under someone who's not doing anything, assuming that, you know, the person 2 years from now doesn't decide all of a sudden to do something, which I'm going to be real honest. If they do, I'm not going, oh my gosh, I can't believe they became a senior brand partner and now I've missed out on their team commission generation. Some people may. I don't think like that. So once it's done, and I'm focused on what I have and not what I'm losing or what I could have lost, kind of thing. Can it hurt a brand partner on your team to give them a placement? If I place it, no, you can't hurt a brand partner. If I place and give someone 1,000 QV from a newly enrolled and the newly enrolled isn't active in the second month, can't that make the person under whom I mean, I guess. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, you could place a person and help them rank up, and then the next month, maybe they don't rank up. My brain doesn't operate that way. I'm looking at, you place them that month, they rank up, awesome. Now, next month, I'm going to help them keep it. I really, really, truly do not focus on loss or even the potential of loss. I'm always looking for growth, maintaining, looking at what we have. So I guess theoretically, if you look at it that way, I guess you could hurt them. But to me, it doesn't hurt somebody to help them rank up and earn more money through a momentum bonus. I don't think that. To me, that's personal. My personal opinion is that doesn't hurt anyone. Would you not be able to grow if someone doesn't place under you? Well, of course you can grow. Tons of people grow without people placing them under them. Some of your top leadership has never had a placement ever. So yeah, it's 100% possible to grow without having a placement, and many, many, many people do. My point is, you can help someone with 40% of the GQV requirement for a rank by placing. So in my opinion, that's the smartest way to help grow your business, assuming you're not hurting yourself in that same process. Okay. Oh, that's all the questions. Okay. Any other questions on whatever I just said? I forgot even what we were talking about. Oh, senior brand partners. Okay. All right. Let me go on. So tip number 3, if you've met your business type stuff first and you know, you're not going to be capping yourself on GQV, you're still maintaining up in those higher team commission levels, and you have the liberty to do something like, oh, these people live in the same area, I think they would work well together. You can look at those things, but to me, they're farther down the line. You don't want to look at those things until all the businessy type stuff has been met first. And then also you can look at, it would be fantastic if the person that you place them under would eventually be someone you could help develop them into a leader, and they would help you lead eventually down the road. Just for those of you who, to understand this, if you've had placements, that's your team. So that is now your team forever till the end of time. So I don't look at it as, oh, this is my team and these are my placements. No, this is your team. That's how you should always view them. And so in my opinion, you work with everyone on your team, regardless of how they got there, because they are your team forever. Okay, tip number 4, because of the cap, you want to have at least 3 legs, right? You don't want to think about it mathematically. If you had 2 legs, you're far more likely to get capped out on volume, because it has nothing to do with the legs and everything to do with what you're running for. So like in the example I gave before, for a lead director, you can only take 6,600 from a leg, which I guess theoretically, if you take it from 2 equally, you could still hit the rank, but it's a lot easier to cap yourself out on GQB the less legs you have. So you're ideally going to want to have at least 3. Your goal is inevitably to maximize both your team commissions, which is those generations, and your check match, which I still have to explain to you. So imagine the top of a real live tree. That's what you want your placement tree to look like. Notoriously, or historically, I guess I should say, people's was flip-flopped. And so it looked like the trunk of the tree at the top, and then it went like this. And then all these people where it went really wide were out of all your team, out of all of your senior brand partner generations for your team commissions, which is why I said I think it's totally okay, doesn't hurt the person if you want to build wide under what you've already created depth-wise, right? So if I say I have 5 legs, then I'm going to maybe build wide under those 5 legs versus continuously building new legs. Like I said, unless 4 and 2 are never going to do anything, maybe 5 drops out, I don't know, then maybe I would leave another person there and not place. But overall, I'm literally considering both at the same time. How do I build team directors? And how do I keep people as high up as possible in the team commissions when I'm placing? Okay, so that's all to do with placement. Now, I'll come back to the chat and see what questions we have about that afterward. I'm going to tell you just a few little other additional leadership components of the comp plan. So for those of you who don't know, we have a luxury car bonus. It starts at the level of elite director plus, you have to have elite director plus the 15,000 GQB. So you're looking in the rank advancement box to hit elite director, then you got to scroll down to the luxury car bonus box and hit the 15,000 in GQB. That is the requirement for the first level of car payment. If you choose, and this is obviously US dollars, you guys, but if you choose to actually get the car, they will award you, and you can see all the way from elite to regional, they will award you up to a $500 car payment reimbursement. You have to turn in your lease or your purchase paperwork. If your payment on your car is $477, they will pay you $477. Okay, it's not just $500. It's up to $500 to cover the payment of the car. Now, if you don't want to get the car, then there is the cash option. So you can see the cash option there. Once you rank up to National Marketing Director to Gold, the car payment amount goes up, as does the cash amount, and then the same as you advance beyond that. Also, we have lifestyle bonuses. So once you hit the level of Premier Director, you start earning a lifestyle bonus. This is on top of everything else that you're already earning, everything else we've already talked about. Between yesterday's training and today's training, you're getting a cash bonus on top of it simply for hitting the rank. Now, just so you know, because this does also differ amongst companies, let's say you hit Area Marketing Director and you get the 250. And then next month, you don't hit Area Marketing Director and you hit Premier, fantastic, you'll get the 150. And then let's say next month, oops, you fall back to Elite Director and you don't get any of these, but then the next month you rank back up to Area, you're getting the 250 again. So these are lifestyle bonuses that don't go away because you fall back. Obviously, you have to hit the rank to get the money, but if you fall back in rank, it doesn't mean that you can't get it again. Anytime you hit any of these ranks, you will get the lifestyle bonus. So it's not something that if you fall out of the rank, they take it away from you forever. That sounds awful, but that's how a whole lot of companies' compensation plans work. And then this is the check match. So this is calculated on every team director or higher. It follows the enrollment tree. So you do not impact your check match based on your placement tree, meaning the levels that you're getting paid out. What you can impact on your check match from placements is helping someone hit the level of team director, which then in turn turns them into a team director generation, right? So it doesn't matter how they hit team director, it just matters that they are one for you to get that check, the check match. So the check match, in case you don't understand what that is, it's not like you're getting what they've earned on their check. What you're getting is this percentage, whatever it is, on what they were paid on their team commissions. So, if I was paid $500 on my team commissions, 10% of that is $50. So I'm going to get $50 on my team commissions. Now, as you start to grow and your team starts to grow and you start to rank up, these amounts are more and more and more, and they're very dependent on enrolling and retaining customers, right? Because check match is also calculated on that CV amount because it's calculated on the team commissions paid out, which are calculated on CV. So the check match will increase as the team commissions increase as well. So it is a very powerful part of the compensation plan. I'm going to kind of show you how, hopefully anyway. There is a max per cap depending on what rank you're at. So what that basically does is a protection that keeps us from being all the awful, horrible things that some people think about our industry. It keeps that from actually existing. You cannot enroll some rock star and make, you know, $50,000 off of their team commissions every month. You have a cap per person there. So this would be theoretical. This is beautiful drawing as well. I just went with the enrollment tree I'd already drawn for you because I didn't want to make it any more confusing. But let's just say theoretically, everyone in that enrollment tree that I drew became a team director. Obviously, there would be way more people here if these people became team directors, but I'm just trying to show you the power of it. So you have 8 people on that first line. They all became a team director. You have 8 level 1 team director generations. That means you will get, let's just say you're a regional marketing director, you'll get paid 10% of what they got paid on their team commissions on all 8 of those people. Okay. Then we said that all the people that have little number 2s by them, they all were also team directors. Everyone on this page is a team director. So you have 11 level 2 team director generations, which means at the level of regional marketing director, you're getting 10% of what all 11 of those people, each one individually, was paid out in their team commissions. And then so on and so forth. So you would have had 5 level 3s, 2 level 4s, and 3 level 5s. So in the case of regional, you're just getting paid out on the first 3 check matches. But think about it this way. Let's say you enroll 8 people who each enroll 5 people, right? Let's say all 8 become a team director, which means that's 8 level 1 team directors, and every person they enrolled becomes a team director. That's 40 level 2 team directors that you'll be getting that 10% check match on their team commissions. So it's very, very powerful in compounding. And let's just say that for the sake of example, let's look at leg number 8 here. Let's say that it doesn't until you get to person number 4, that becomes the team director, and there's not one between 8 and the little A that has the 4 by it. Then that little 4 by it, that little A, that's level 1. That becomes your generation 1 team director, and you would get 10% off that, and everyone else would be rolled into that as a level 1 team director. So that's a very powerful part of the comp plan. So my last advice to you is to exhale. That was a lot of information, and it's very complicated. I understand it, but it is, you know, if you can understand any part of it, it's really helpful for you when you're making placements. And then understanding parts of it, such as how CV is awarded and how that impacts people's paychecks between new business and recurring business. So when someone or yourself ranks up and you're like, I thought that my check would have been more, or they say that to you, you have full understanding of why that happened. It's because it was maybe all new business and the CV was cut, right? Because that's what happens. And so it tells you, or to me, what it does for me is drive me to retain that business next month so that I can get the 100% CV amount on all those things, which is going to increase everyone's check, team commissions, momentum bonus, and check match if you're earning it. So, but exhale, again, they will always pay you. They will always pay you, even if you don't understand how you're being paid. And like Christina mentioned before, if you're not comfortable making decisions on placements, you absolutely should get someone's advice. I can't tell you how many people run their placements by me. And most of the time I say, perfect, that's fine, that works. You know, or I might say, well, how many generations are you placing them deep? You're placing them in a level 4. Is that really where you want to place them? Or is there someone else we can choose to place them under that will keep them higher up in your generation? So if you don't get it, it's okay. But hopefully you have a little bit more, I guess, base knowledge of kind of what you're impacting when you make a placement or when you don't, so that you can make a business decision for yourself of what you best choose will be your philosophy and how you want to grow and build a business. So let me stop sharing the screen and see if we have any more questions. Oh, okay. Can my upline see all my information? Yes. They can see everything. Now, I will tell you though, as an upline, I'm not going to draw out your senior brand partner generations for you. No. I'm going to ask that you give me an overall sense of like, you know, hey, I'm wanting to place in this leg or whatever. And then we're going to say, okay, who are you looking at? How many generations deep are they? If you don't know and you don't know how to figure it out, then I'll go in and help you. But I'm not going to like map out your whole placement tree in that moment. Oh, Tova. Yeah, you can call Sam. She knows what she's doing too. That makes me giggle. I answered your question. Yay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Go get into some AC. I will. I'm also going to down this whole bottle of water. Well, Shelly, this is recorded, so you can watch it again. Okay. How can you keep the Lexus? You keep the Lexus by continuing to meet the requirements. So really that's the truth in everything except for momentum bonus. Okay. Momentum bonus is timed. So you only have the opportunity to get that for 3 consecutive months. If you don't re-rank up, so let's say I ranked up to Premier Director in May. If I don't rank up to Premier Director in June, if I don't maintain the rank of Premier Director in June, I don't get paid the momentum bonus in June. But in July, if I rank up again, I get paid the momentum bonus. Then the momentum bonus runs out and you don't get it again. Okay, so it's a one and done. You have a 3 consecutive month opportunity to earn it, and then it's done. With the car, and really anything else, including the leadership bonuses, like I told you, you're looking at if you're meeting the car requirements, you get the car bonus. The end. So you have to maintain the elite director and the 15,000 GQV mark to be able to get the Lexus or the luxury car bonus. Car or lease or purchase, yeah, whatever you want. Okay. All right. Any other questions about anything? Like literally, it's okay. I'm not going to be like, I can't believe you don't understand. I'll say it 500 times if it takes you 500 times to understand it. I will also share the recording because I know you can't wait to fall asleep to this tonight. Okay. At least I'm not quite as red. It's a bonus. Okay. Well, if you don't have any questions, just know that no one expects you. You know, no one was an expert from the beginning. So everyone had to learn along the way. Some people still don't know. I think they're doing okay. So it's okay. But I want you to have the power and the knowledge to know what you're doing when you're making decisions of where you're placing people on your team and knowing how to grow your paycheck in really smart and strategic ways. So thank you guys for spending time tonight here again, and I'll share the recording as soon as I get it uploaded. So let's go run through all of our numbers and double check all the ways we can maximize people's paychecks for them and offer our help to help them do it. So I'm always here to help as well, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night.